the year 2099. 17 years have passed since the Robo-Mutant War ravaged the entire planet. Progress has been made. Huge shopping centers called megamalls have reignited the lands with prosperity, offering every amenity, luxury, and enjoyment conceivable. But it has come at a cost. Fred is Mullet Cop, written and illustrated by Tom Lintern, published by Scout Comics.
Hello everyone, welcome to Whack Comics. I'm here today with Tom Lintern, the writer and artist of Mullet Cop. How you going, mate? Thanks heaps for joining me.
Yeah, no problem. My pleasure, man.
All right, so first up, for people who are unaware of Mullet Cop, can you just give a brief summary on what Mullet Cop's about?
Yeah. So it's basically it's a spoof on like a lot of people's like favorite action movies and like anything from like Schwarzenegger to like something like Knight Rider. Like each episode's like kind of a spoof on those, but like the main thing is it's about this undercover mall cop, and the whole thing takes place in like this futuristic mall where there's all these gangs taking over the mall, and like each episode is like a different adventure where Fred, the main character, has to like take on could be a corporate entity, it could be a gang, whatever. But like, yeah, each one's just kind of like based off of like, something you've seen before, whether it's like aliens or whatever. But it's also like some new elements in there to like make it feel like something new at the same time.
Yeah, I definitely felt some inspiration from like Judge Dredd and RoboCop as well.
For sure. Yeah, like RoboCop was like that movie was an awesome action movie, but it was also like hilarious. Like I wouldn't classify it as a comedy, but like there was a number of like really hilarious moments in it, which I don't know, the tone worked out really well. This falls more into comedy. It's almost something like I don't know. I'm like into like Tim and Eric. And do you watch that show?
I've never heard of it, to be honest.
Tim and Eric. It was on Adult Swim
Okay.
probably like 10 years ago. Check it out. They do a lot of shorts, and like it's, I don't even know how to explain it. They can get really weird. So if you watch one of their skits and you're like, wait, what was that? Like, just give it a chance, because they're kind of hit or miss, because they can get really weird. But like, but that was one influence. Other influences are like, I mean, anything from like that movie Airplane to Naked Gun or something like that, mixed in with something like, like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, something like that, But then like the art style is more influenced by something like Mobius, or but Mobius, like if you mixed Mobius and Beavis and Butthead,
That's a perfect description of it for sure.
Yeah. I like Mike Judge's work. I didn't really get into King of the Hill, but like when Beavis and Butthead came on, I thought that was just like pure genius. Still do. So yeah, things in those lines. I think it falls in kind of those vibes.
What's your process like? Because you're writing and drawing it. How long does it take you to deal with the one issue? Like, for example, the 60-page issue that you started with.
That one I did during a good chunk of COVID. Like it took a while. I got a full-time job, and so I just fit this stuff in like nights and weekends. But the art style, it moves fairly fast, and I work as an illustrator, so I'm getting quicker and quicker, but it does take a while. For like issue 1, I started off with like a fairly polished script, and I write it more in kind of like a format that someone writes like a film script. I don't really know how to write a comic book script specifically, just because I haven't taken that approach where you go like cell 1 this happens, cell 2 that happens. I'm kind of used to like the more like film or TV kind of style for writing a script. So I'll do that, and for like the first one, of course, was the hardest to get because like Mullet Cop started off as kind of more like just I had this idea for like these these different elements. Like I was like, okay, I have these different gang ideas for this giant, futuristic mall, and then I had these main characters, which some of them I came up with recently. Some of them were from an old story that I just never completed that I thought were perfect for this. Um, and then, um, but it took a while to like come up with an idea for the story. So it's not like I started with a story first. I actually started with the artwork first. And I'm personally like, I mean, I'm first and foremost an illustrator. So that, that's just kind of how I work anyway. Um, so so once I did come up with like some ideas for the story, it just kind of I think I wrote the whole thing in probably like a weekend, like a full
Mm.
weekend. Um, but that's again because I had all these elements are just sitting there. Um, so when the story it came together fairly quick. Um, but like with comic books, it's not like the writing that in terms of text that takes so long to do. It's like to actually just even draw a simple script takes absolutely forever, and especially with something like Mullet Cop, where it's like it's a lot of drawing a mall full of people that needs I wanted things designed. I wanted to feel unique. Um, all those things take a lot of time. So just the artwork, of course, took the longest. Uh, Pencils take me forever. I kind of jump back and forth. Like I won't just like start one page, go to the next, go to the next. I kind of like I'll pencil this page, I'll pencil this page. I'll jump around. Maybe I'll you know go back and forth because sometimes I'll get like an idea while I'm working in one scene, and that'll change a previous scene. So I almost build up all the pencils like as if it were one piece of artwork versus like boom, I got page one done. Boom, I got page two done. And I think me being the writer and penciler, and uh, that's a little more flexible in that regard. Um, but at the same time, it probably takes it takes longer because like I'll do something that I'll just like have to scrap it. You know.
Yeah.
So, and then the inking, I'm getting faster with inking, getting faster with coloring, um, and in the past I have hired like some people to help out with the coloring a little bit, um, because it's flat color. I can just be like, hey, just color behind the lines. I don't care what color it is, and then I'll go into Photoshop and I'll get it how I want, for the most part. So. Um, and I like the flat color. I think with comics, you got so much information on a page. It could, like, if everything's so detailed and busy, it can kind of almost be a lot for your eye to take in. But like, that's something I always liked about Mobius's work is like complex in terms of like what's in the shot, but because it's a lot of flat color, with detail in certain areas and a lot of negative space in others, it always created a nice balance. Um, so and I just felt like whatever that style worked for what I was trying to do because I'm doing something sci-fi, but almost also doing comedy. So it couldn't be like if it was too realistic, I don't think it would have the right tone. Also couldn't be too serious, but it still has to like the designs have still have to. I mean, that's part of the reason I did it in the future is like this story could technically taken place in the 80s or 90s or something like that, but I wanted to. I don't know. I just like all that futuristic stuff.
Yeah, the colors are beautiful. Definitely matches the story.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Do you draw traditionally or digitally?
Yeah, everything I do is in Photoshop. So um, I do that like for my day job, that's what I do. And then like for this stuff, it just moves faster. Um, and like I'm in New York too, so I don't even have like I haven't had much space for a big studio to like have a big drawing table and then computer and stuff like that. So I mean, I could probably do that now, but like my last place was like I was working in a really small corner of my living room, so I didn't even have that ability to like have a big desk to draw on. You know, just,
Yeah.
that's just New York for you.
So you have a tab to draw on, or
Yeah, I use like an Intuos Wacom tablet.
oh yeah, I've got a Wacom Syntax as well. They're great, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. I used to use one of the bigger ones, like it was like bigger than 11 by 17, and I thought I needed that to get the detail that I needed, but I just picked up. It's like it's the small ones you don't want to get, the tiny ones,
Mm.
like to do professional work, but like this one, like it's like medium size. It's
Oh,
perfect,
yeah.
surprisingly. So, um, yeah, it works great, and I haven't used a Cintiq in a while, so I can't compare the two, but this one, as soon as you get used to not looking at your pencil while you're drawing, like it's pretty cool.
What made you want to do License to Grill as this nice little square comic here? I was really surprised as I pre-ordered it, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, when I got it in, I was like, wow, this is really tiny. But it was really a really fun read as well, and I did enjoy the size and the format. What made you want to give that a go?
Well, what was funny is like I actually designed it initially for Instagram. That's why that's why it's square,
Oh,
and and I showed it to my editor at Scout Comics, and then he passed it on to some other people at Scout, and they're like, "Let's just do a mini comic," because I was going to do it just on Instagram, just like because it's super short,
mm,
and I was like, it'll be kind of hard to like figure out exactly how to show it on Instagram, but I was like, it would just be a good promo for like anyone who's following but hasn't bought the comic yet. And then they're like, oh, let's just make it into a miniature comic book. I was like, okay, like I literally have never seen that before, but that's kind of the cool thing about Scout is they'll do things like that.
yeah,
they're
that's
pre- they're
great.
pretty flexible. Like I can, they're cool with like you know like deadlines and um, like every comic book I even do is like a different page length, and they're just like cool with all that. And it's just like that's just kind of how I work. I don't know how to make perfect like 24-page comics. It's just I just can't do it for this one anyway.
I'm really glad that they went with that too, because that's how I found Mullet Cop, and I'm really glad that I did.
Oh, that's great. Thanks, man. Yeah, I have another mini one coming out. Uh, I believe it should be in November, and that one's just like it's about just like these little like mutant rats take over the whole mall, and that one it's longer. It's probably twice as long as License to Krill. And then after that, I'm going back to a regular format uh, book that I've already started. Um, and I for that one, I might be getting some help with the inks. I'm trying to see if I can do that. I would like to produce more work per year because yeah, like Mullet Cop took me well over a year or so to do a 60-page book. If I can get some other people on board, it would just be nice to put out content faster because I've got ideas for like a bunch of different comics, so or episodes. So that would be great. It's just I'm used to I'm used to like you know doing things a certain way, and it's got to be the right artist, and especially for the inks. Uh, and who knows, maybe one day like have a penciler help out. That would be great too. Because you know, I'd probably always want to handle at least some aspect of the penciling, but everything else, like it would be great to have a team. You know, so we'll see. I mean, that's how most people do it. I'm just like I'm very particular about how I want it to look, and the styles just have to match.
How do you come up with some of your characters like Shrimp Man?
Oh man. Okay, so like for that one, what happened? So I don't know if it was the name popped up in my mind. Um, how did that one start? Um, I know, like, let's see. Oh, I think I don't know where had the first idea. Oh, uh, at first I was going to do a spoof on the fly, and that's kind of how it starts off. It's like you got this crazy scientist who who you know is doing these experiments, and he turns into a fly. So that I want to do a spoof on that, and a lot of stuff is like food related, and I don't know where I came up with that specifically, but I thought like that would be like super cheesy to have a shrimp man character. And then so I started writing, and like the first half of the comic book was working, but then like like having Fred fight shrimp man, like it wasn't cool enough to just keep it in that. So like that comic starts off as like a spoof of The Fly and turns into a spoof of Aliens, and that worked out way better. And where that came from partly was did you ever I don't know, I'm dating myself here, but I grew up playing Nintendo, and there was this game called Contra. Did you ever play that?
No,
Okay.
not much of
Well,
a gamer, to be honest.
oh, okay. Like so Contra was this game that was like simultaneously a ripoff of like Predator. Uh, they used like Stallone and Schwarzenegger as inspirations for the main characters, and on the last level, it was like a total ripoff of Aliens. But some of the aliens they designed didn't look exactly like the xenomorph, for obvious reasons for copyrights, but they looked like these little floating shrimp. And um, I think that's partially where I got the idea to like migrate this into like an aliens uh, spoof. And that story doesn't finish. We're gonna go into like uh, the second half of uh, the comic, or part two will be when they go into the laboratory in the actual restaurant, and I think it's going to get like even crazier with like these little alien shrimp xenomorphs everywhere. Uh, I haven't written it yet, but I have kind of the basic premise of it in mind, so that'll be a fun one to draw, I think.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. That sounds amazing.
And I actually I want to do a poster of just like a bunch of like these mall SWAT team guys going into like like the Queen's Hive, but it's like it's all these little like shrimp aliens attacking like all these different cops. I think that would be a fun piece to do. I can like see it in my head. Like I don't know, like the comics take so long, and I get these crazy ideas for like these really complicated posters, and those take a while too. But I got to do it at some point.
What have you got planned for the future with Mullet Cop?
So right now, yeah, I've got issue 4, or yeah, issue 4, which is the mutant rat one, and that's it's just like License to Krill, but at least twice as long, and that one's a lot of fun. And then issue 5, standard format. This is like right now the title is called Mega Sale, and it's a spoof off of. Did you watch The Warriors?
Yes.
Okay, it's a spoof off The Warriors. Only like Fred uh, is working at the buffet, and this gang comes in and tears up their place. So they have to go to the sale on the complete opposite end of the mall, and and Fred gets framed for like uh, murdering this guy who's running this big sale at this uh, department store where they're supposed to go, and like it's such a great sale, they're going to recoup all their losses from what was damaged at the buffet. And so Fred gets framed for this murder, and they have to go to the you know other end of the mall to get back home to safety. And everyone just wants to like murder Fred because he ruined the sale. So like shoppers are angry at him. There's different gangs that want to take him out. And did you get a chance to check out issue 2?
Yes.
Okay, like Fred on his way back, he gets thirsty running away from all these people, so he drinks a can of foam, and we see how that like plays out. It's almost like Warriors, but like imagine if the characters were on acid as they're trying to get their way back home. So it's something like that. So that one's gonna be a lot of fun because I'm gonna have to come up with like these scenes of like Fred hallucinating, but like in a creative way, not like I don't want it to be exactly like how people draw like acid trips. Um, like it's gonna be like but it'll still be psychedelic, but he'll be seeing weird like I don't know. How like Akira had all this like trippy stuff, like something like that. So that'll be fun to design, and uh, it'll be fun to incorporate a number of gangs into the story, all in one issue, and then have all this other stuff coming up. So I'm already penciling that one, and that I think I'm like on like page 16. I don't know how long that'll be. I'm guessing it'll be around 50 pages, maybe 60. Um, but um, yeah, I've just started talking to a possible inker, so I'm just hoping to get that one out before too long.
That's
Um,
awesome.
and then and then beyond that, like I've I've got some other ideas for one other comic book, um, just like a one shot, and then come back to Mullet Cop, or I'll just keep going. Uh, and I don't want to spoil this other comic book yet because that's top secret for the moment. But
Fair.
it kind of fits in the Mullet Cop universe, but it's like a new character, but like Larry Swanson, the CEO of Foam, he's in it a little bit, and like so is he has like this little bratty son who uh he looks like he's like a little preppy tennis playing dude who he's got like a bandolier of grenades and like a little tennis racket, and like he he's in issue 5. Um, he might be in that story too. Um, but he's kind of like a character out of like Breakfast Club or something like that, but going through the Mullet Cop filter, you know.
That's great. I really like the idea on expanding on the Mullet Cop universe with different comics as well. That sounds great.
Thanks. Yeah, yeah. The thing, the thing is, like, well, I still have to write that one. Like, I've got like some basic things figured out. It could be fun. Um, we'll see how the script comes, but yeah, if that script comes together, I'll probably do that. Yeah, right after issue 5, and then jump back into Mullet Cop. Just to also, yeah, sometimes it's good to just mix it up and yeah, expand the universe a bit more.
We were talking a little bit through messengers, and you were saying that there's going to be a Mullet Cop trade paperback coming out next year, hopefully. And I was wondering how you would put License to Grill into that trade paperback. Would you break it down, put more panels on the one page, or just one big panel on the page?
Yeah, I think Scout was talking about doing issues 1, 2, and 5, but I would like to get the comics in there too, and they're usually pretty flexible, so they might be okay with that. But yeah, I think I'll have to do the layout, but I think either 4 or 6 panels might actually get a nice vertical layout, and so there it's just like six panels every page, so it'll look a little different. But it might look kind of cool as like kind of a break from the other ones.
Yeah.
Um, but so but I just want it to fit that same ratio. But I think it's something I'll have to test out. But I think 6 panels a page we'll work out for that. But that'll turn into a pretty long book too. Uh, so we'll see. It's either going to be all of them, or it'll be 1, 2, and 5, because those are all the same format already, and everything is kind of episodic anyway. You
Mm.
can, I don't know. Did you see License to Curl first, or did you see issue 1 first?
License to Krill is my introduction to Mullet Cop. Yes.
Okay, okay, and you kind of get it, like,
Yeah.
because it's something familiar. It's like, this cop has a mission. Yeah. So that's cool. I just wasn't sure because, like, I obviously, I know it from the beginning. But for someone to jump in, and and from what I've heard from other people online too, it does seem like people just get it. You don't need to read all the issues in order to get the story. And I think all of them will kind of feel like that. Maybe issue 5. I mean, that kind of just starts off. They're working in a buffet and things go down. You might not know exactly that he's an undercover cop right away, but uh, and I think people will get it. It's not too tough. I think they do make mention of, like, as the story goes on, um, but yeah, I mean that's kind of the idea with the episode thing, is like any issue you can just jump in and be like, oh, okay, I get what's going on here, and
That's
it's
definitely a
it's
great
not
way
too
to do
complicated either.
it. Yeah. One of my favorite questions to ask creators is, what does the comic book medium mean to you?
Um, just in general.
And yeah, in general, like what's your personal relationship with the comic book medium? How does it make you feel?
Well, it's funny because, like, dude, I've been like like for me, like, I'm not someone who collects a absolute ton of comic books, but I'm someone who, like, literally since, like, I graduated college, I've been trying to make them. So like, um, you know, always enjoyed drawing since I was a little kid, and I've always, you know, I grew up on comics, video games, and film, animation, all that stuff. So for me, I guess it started off, I just loved illustrating. Initially, I wanted to do like concept art and stuff like that, for like video games. But what happened was, when I started doing that, I started getting ideas for like storylines, but I didn't really consider myself a writer. Um, but what happened was, like, I just kept on, like, you know, creating art and then coming up with like little snippets of a story. And they got, started off with like an idea for a scene. I'm like, oh, I just came up with a scene. And then, like, slowly but surely just started writing more. I mean, almost all the work I do is drawing, but um, I think I think I got more and more involved as a writer over time, and all these skills took a while to develop. Learning how to draw comics, learning how to, like, um, tell a story. All these things took years and years and years to do. And for me, I mean, it's like the most constructive kind of, like, um, it's almost a form of entertainment as much as it is like, um, work. Because sometimes it does feel like a grind. Sometimes it is a lot of fun. It kind of goes back and forth. But, like, it's hugely important to me because it stretches all the way back to my childhood, um, and it's been a big part of my life, my whole life. And I'm still, I'm 45 right now, and I'd love to make it my full time job, but, like, just being able to, like, have it in comic book stores and share it with different people. Thank God for, like, social media is great for reaching out. That's how, I just met you. And uh I don't know, it's I don't know, it's a lot of work, but it's like, um it's totally worth it, and we'll see what happens with it. um I've had people reach out to me. I don't know if you saw some of the links on my website, but, like, um I had a writer and a director reach out to me from LA. They're pitching Mullet Cop to different studios. Of course, there's a huge, Hollywood's in total turmoil right now, so it's not a good time to be pitching at all. So, we have to be patient with that. But you know, uh, who knows where this will go? I'd love to collaborate with whoever and just see what happens with it.
I got my fingers crossed for that. That would be amazing. I'd love to see like a TV show or a movie with Mullet Cop. It would be great.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, yeah, yeah. I'd love to see it come to life. You know, I'm not an animator in any type of way, but like, it would be cool to work with those, anyone in that industry for sure.
Have you had the opportunity yet to table some comics at any conventions?
You know what? I haven't, but it's only because when I started Mullet Cop, it was COVID, and then right after that, my wife got pregnant, and then we had a baby. So I've just had my hands full. So doing something like going to a convention uh, right now, things are a little too crazy, but I will. I've done them before, um, uh, not for Mullet Cop, but I think that'd be great space to like uh, chat with people. Um, and I think some people like you see Mullet Cop and they're like, "What the hell is that? That looks crazy." Just to get people's reaction because it is a comedy. Um, you know, and you know, social media is great, but it is great to just meet people, in person too. So, maybe, this year things are still it'd be a little bit difficult to navigate that, but I'll be able to do it before too long.
That's awesome. Yeah, I hope you get the chance to do it because I've found a lot of my favorite comic books at conventions from indie creators. Just selling their wares. It's
Yeah.
always a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. You never know who you'll meet at these things. And yeah, everyone's making completely different stuff. Yeah. I bet that is a great way to do it for sure.
Mullet Cop's an eye catcher as well. I'm sure if you had a nice big Mullet Cop sign, it would draw people's attention in.
Yeah. Yeah. Fred doesn't look like your typical like superhero.
Yeah.
They're like, what is that? Or like Dolores or Miss Parker. they're a little, they're a little more person next door.
All right. I've got a couple of questions for you here. We've got five questions for what I like to call the writing game show.
Okay.
So they're all pretty fun, silly questions. So answer them however you want to, and try to have as much fun with it as you can. But the
Right
first
on.
one is a mainstay. I ask everyone this question because it's a bit of a challenge.
Okay.
Can you please write a sentence without using A or E in any of the words?
A or what?
E.
Jeez.
If you want, you can get it.
Like write it on a piece of paper, or you mean just say it?
Just say it. If you need to write it down, you can do that as well.
It's going to smell. Oh no! Oh
Smell,
no!
isn't E?
It's going to stink. No, yeah, it's going to stink.
Perfect. You knocked it out of the park. Some people have a fair bit of challenge with that question, but you got it pretty good there.
Thanks. Yeah, I had to take it word by word.
Question number two. Marvel. Let's just say Marvel wants to do a crossover with Mullet Cop, and they're going to let you choose any character out of their catalog for you to do the crossover with. What character would you choose, and what would the story be like?
Oh wow. Let's see. I feel like Iron Man fits in with the Mullet Cop vibe, probably. And it's weird because I'm a comic book artist, but I kind of like um, I'm not someone who knows a ton about superheroes. I started off with like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Did you ever see the original comics?
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, that hooked me in. And like one of my buddies down the street, he had an older brother who used to go to there's a comic book store, and like, there's like a college town next town over, and they had this cool little comic book store called Spellbinders, and I didn't even know it existed, and that just like opened up a whole world to me. But like after Ninja Turtles, I think I was in like the Aliens and the Predator and a couple other ones, but then that kind of got me into uh like Akira and stuff like that. So I kind of got sucked up into I always liked sci-fi futuristic stuff. So I was obsessed with like Ghost in the Shell, that the artist who did that, all his work. And but I kind of somehow missed the superhero thing and all that. But like I do feel like, yeah, Iron Man fits the vibe. I don't know if I I don't know if I can give you a good storyline. Like these things take a while to come up with, but oh man, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the plot would have to be, but I'd have to get back to you on that.
No worries. Question number 3. How would you give a compelling backstory to a microwave left on the side of the road with a sign saying "Free to Good Home"?
Oh man. Um, let's see. I think we could start off like, okay, where did it come from? Maybe it has. I was actually just thinking of this today, like, because I write those little PSAs at the end of each comic book. Um, my next PSA is going to be like something to do with like, don't if, like, are you thinking of using that microwave that you found in a dumpster? Like, don't do it. Like, it's along those lines, like something super stupid. So I was thinking about something along these lines. So like maybe that microwave was used like at like a chemical plant or like a nuclear plant, and it has like you know it's been used, but maybe it was like in a fire or something like that. Maybe it's like a really really dangerous microwave that has like that it has like superpowers. That could be pretty cool. Because Mitt doesn't really have superpowers. He just is like he can connect to like the mall and get like information. It's been a challenge incorporating a microwave into the story. I think he'll middle develop over time, but right now he's just kind of almost like an annoying like like authority figure. It's like, hey Fred, like how's everything going on the mission? In the middle of like all the action. Um, but but like, yeah, maybe there's this like really dangerous microwave that has like all these like it's like radioactive superpowers that are really dangerous. That could be cool.
I like that. That's a good answer.
Good
So,
question.
thank you. So, Marvel Studios have approached you now. Your crossover with Iron Man was a huge success, and now they want to make a movie with Mullet Cop and Iron Man. Who would you cast as Mullet Cop and Iron Man, and what would the tagline of the movie be?
Oh wow. Well, who's the what's his name? Um, who's the Eastbound and Down dude? Danny
Uh,
McBride.
Danny McBride. He would be perfect.
Yeah, I love that dude. He's great. He's great. Like I envision like Fred to be somewhere between like he's like in Eastbound and Down, he's a little bit more of like a dick,
Yeah.
you know. Like Fred's a little bit more like someone between like Eastbound and Down and like Napoleon Dynamite, because he's more dopey, uh kind of like has his like just there's like tumbleweeds going, out he's just kind of out to lunch. But so like somewhere in between there. Um so it would be funny. I mean, when Iron Man have to be the same actor?
Robert Downey Jr. would be great to team up
Yeah,
with.
that
That
would be a
Enemy
great
Pride.
team, yeah.
Yeah.
Weren't they together in that Vietnam movie? That comedy? Where, like
Vietnam. Yes, they were. Tropic Thunder.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know how I haven't seen that.
such a good
That's
film.
like a classic, I gotta check it out.
Yeah,
I um, and anything with Danny McBride in it, I'll check out.
yeah. I love
Um,
Enemy Pride.
Now tagline. That's another one of those things I don't let's see, like, I can't come up with that stuff, like, on the cuff. Uh, yeah, I don't know, and that's something I gotta get back to you on.
Fair enough. Fair enough. The last question on the writing game show here. If I was a character in Mullet Cop,
Uh,
what would I be?
let's see. Um, let's see. Would we need, like would we need, like, another person working in the buffet with them? Um, or would you let's see. I'm trying to think because there's only, like we've got the main force, and then everyone else is, like, in a gang, so you'd either have to be in a gang, a evil corporation, or, like, on that team, you know? Um, I'm trying to think. Do you have any preferences?
I would love to be in a gang, maybe the leader of a gang.
Yeah, yeah. Um, let's see. I'm trying to think of, like, the different gangs. We've got a clown gang coming up. Um, what else? I'm trying to think. What other gangs are there? I'm just blanking out. Um, in issue 5, there's like a clown gang. There's like shopper gangs. Uh, what else is there? Yeah, I don't know. There's plenty of gangs. I could make you a gang leader.
Perfect. Maybe like some sort of middle-aged balding gang. No, that could be good.
Yeah, I've got definitely some middle-aged people going on. I'm trying to think. I've got I feel like most of them are moms so far, but I've got to mix it up, So, yeah. But you're not you got to be more square. We'd have to make you more square, and you know, uh you'd have to, like, wear button-down shirt, a little bit, a little bit of a little belly going on,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
I've got the cardigan
it'd be a
going
good
already that
start.
I can button up.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we'll come up with a middle-aged dudes gang for you. Maybe they're on roller skates or something.
Thank you so much, Tom, sorry, for coming on and having some fun with me and answering these questions.
Yeah, no problem.
If you want people to find you, where would they find you?
Uh, I, I'm most active on Instagram. Just if you look up Mullet Cop, uh, I'll come up. Um, the website is mulletcop.com. But yeah, in terms of social media, I mean, I have Twitter, but I just do almost all my posting on Instagram. So and I post fairly regularly on there. So that'd probably be the best spot to get the latest.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks so much again, man. And I hope everyone goes out and finds Mullet Cop and enjoys it as much as I did.
Awesome. Thanks, Lee. I really appreciate it. It's a pleasure talking to you, man.
Thanks, Heath. And thanks everyone for watching.
Bye bye.